Samantha, a story from Chicago. My name's Samantha. I'm 20 years old. I live on the south side of Chicago with my 4-year-old son, Liam. People look at me and they see young mom, but they don't really see me, not the person I was before all this, or the one I'm trying to become. Morning. It's 6:30 a.m. and my phone alarm's been buzzing under my pillow for 10 minutes. Liam's already awake. I can hear him humming from his room, probably playing with his toy cars. He doesn't need an alarm. Kids never do. My body feels heavy, like I've been carrying invisible bricks all night. I work late most evenings, so I'm used to waking up tired. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever feel fully rested again. The air in our apartment is cold. The old heater barely works, and I can't afford to call maintenance again this month. I roll out of bed, step on the same creaky floorboard, and whisper to myself, "One more day, Sam." In the kitchen, I make toast and instant coffee. The toast burns a little, but Liam eats it anyway. He tells me it's his favorite kind, even though I know he's just trying to make me smile. He's got these big brown eyes, always watching me, like he's studying what hope looks like. I pack his little backpack, zip up his coat, and we head down the 3 flights of stairs. Outside, the air smells like exhaust and wet pavement. The city's just waking up, a siren in the distance, buses groaning, pigeons fighting over crumbs. We walk past a bus stop, where a man's selling bootleg DVDs. He waves. I wave back. It's the same people every morning, strangers, but kind of not. That's Chicago. You're surrounded by millions of people, and somehow you're still alone, too. How it all started: I got pregnant when I was 16. Trevor was my first real boyfriend, or at least, that's what I thought back then. He was funny, a little reckless, but he made me feel seen. We'd skip class, hang out at this park near the lake, talk about what we'd do when we got out. I used to say I'd travel, go somewhere warm. He said he'd start a band. Then one night, everything changed. I remember standing in my mom's bathroom, holding that pregnancy test. The lines turned pink faster than I could breathe. I didn't cry at first. I just stared at it, waiting for it to change its mind. When I told Trevor, he froze, said, "We'll figure it out." He hugged me so tight, I could feel his heart beating fast, like he was scared too. We tried to plan, but what plan could 2 16-year-olds make? His parents found out and sent him to live with an uncle in another state. My mom yelled, cried, then went silent. That was worse than yelling. The silence lasted months. I'd walk around the apartment hearing her voice in my head. "You ruined your life." Maybe I did, or maybe I just started a different one. 3. Pregnancy. Pregnancy at 16 isn't like the movies. There's no glowing, no soft piano music. It's nausea in a school bathroom, pretending you just have the flu. It's teachers looking at you differently, friends avoiding eye contact, whispers you pretend not to hear. My best friend Kayla stopped texting me after the first month. I think she didn't know what to say, or maybe she didn't want to be around something that reminded her of consequences. Mom took me to the clinic once a month. She never said much during the appointments, just stared at her phone or out the window. But I caught her crying one night in her room. She didn't know I saw. When Liam kicked for the first time, I cried too. Not because I was scared, though I was, but because I felt something real, like a spark of life inside me saying, "You're not done yet." 4. The birth labor started on a February morning. Snow outside, wind howling through the broken window in the hospital hallway. Mom was there. She held my hand so hard I thought it'd break. The pain was like nothing I'd ever known. But when I heard that tiny cry, something inside me shifted. They placed him on my chest, all wrinkly, red-faced, and perfect. I whispered, "Hi, baby." And he just stopped crying, like he knew me already. I was 16 years old, with no diploma, no money, no clue what to do next. But in that moment, I felt strong. 5. The early years. The first 2 years were a blur. Diapers, late nights, formula, stretch marks, exhaustion that never ended. Mom helped for a while, but she worked double shifts, and we barely spoke unless it was about bills or Liam. I dropped out of school my junior year, tried online classes later, but between babysitting jobs and doctor visits, it didn't last. Trevor sent money twice, $50 the first time, $100 the second, then nothing. I used to hate him for it, but over time, I just stopped expecting anything. When Liam turned 1, I started working at a diner. Old stools, grease smell everywhere, but it was something. My boss, Rita, was tough but fair. She said, "You remind me of me when I was your age, just trying to survive." She taught me how to keep my head down and my heart steady. 6. A day in her life now. Every day feels the same, but also like a fight I can't afford to lose. I wake up early, drop Liam off at daycare, rush to the diner, work till 3 p.m., pick him up, then head home. Sometimes we stop by the corner store for milk and cereal. He always asks for chocolate, and I always say, "Next time." I lie every time. After he's asleep, I sit by the window with my coffee. The city outside glows. Orange street lights, car horns, trains rumbling. Chicago never rests, and neither do I. Some nights, I count change for rent. Some nights, I scroll through old pictures of Trevor and wonder if he ever thinks about us. But most nights, I just stare at the ceiling, whispering prayers I don't even believe in anymore. 7. The breaking point. There was one night, a year ago, that almost broke me. Liam got sick, really sick. He was shaking, burning up, crying my name over and over. The clinic was closed. I had $27 to my name. I sat on the bathroom floor with him in my arms, using a wet towel to cool him down. I was crying so hard I couldn't breathe. I said, "I can't do this, God. I can't." And right then, he opened his eyes, half asleep, barely whispering, and said, "Mommy, don't cry. You said we're superheroes." That broke me in the best way. I took him to the ER the next morning, walked 3 miles in the cold because I didn't have bus fare left. When the nurse said he'd be okay, I cried again, but this time from relief. 8. The shift. Since that night, something changed in me. I realized no one was coming to save us. Not Trevor, not my mom, not the world. If we were going to make it, it'd be because I made it happen. So I started looking for better work, took night shifts when I could, asked Rita for more hours, sold old clothes online. Slowly, painfully slowly, things got a little better. When Liam started preschool, I cried in the parking lot, not because I was sad, but because I finally saw a future bigger than our struggles. 9. Small joys. There's this thing that happens when you're constantly surviving. You learn to find happiness in tiny, almost invisible moments, like when Liam laughs so hard he snorts, or when I manage to pay rent on time and still have enough left for his favorite cereal, or when the sun hits our window just right and the whole room glows gold for 5 minutes before fading away. Sometimes we dance in the kitchen to old songs on my phone. He stands on my feet, arms around my waist, and for a few minutes everything feels okay. 10. The message. A few months ago, Trevor texted me, out of nowhere. He said he was sorry, said he was finally getting his life together, asked about Liam. I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to scream, another part wanted to say everything I'd been holding in for years, but I didn't. I just typed, "He's doing great. I hope you're okay." And that was it. No closure. No fairy tale, just 2 people who used to dream together, now strangers separated by choices. 11. Now, right now, as I talk to you, Liam's asleep in the next room, his little arm hanging off the bed, his toy dinosaur next to him. The apartment's quiet, except for the sound of the latrine rumbling in the distance. My coffee's cold, my rent's still due, my dreams are smaller than they used to be, but I'm still here. That's the part no one tells you about, that staying here, showing up every morning, is its own kind of success. I used to think life would look like those Instagram stories, big smiles, cute apartments, everything color coordinated. But real life is messier, louder, lonelier, and somehow still beautiful. 12. The bittersweet truth. Sometimes I imagine what it would be like if I hadn't gotten pregnant. Would I be in college now, traveling, living somewhere warm like I always dreamed? But then, I look at Liam, at his small hands, his laugh, the way he says love you without even thinking, and I realize, even if my life turned out different, I wouldn't trade this version for anything, because every scar, every sleepless night, every tear led me here. 13. Final thoughts. People think being a single mom is just about sacrifice, but it's also about strength, the kind you don't know you have until there's no other option. I'm not proud of everything, but I'm proud I never gave up, proud I kept going even when no one clapped for me. If I could talk to that 16-year-old girl now, the one crying in her mom's bathroom, I'd tell her, it's going to be hard, harder than you think, but one day, you'll wake up and realize you made it through, and you'll look at your little boy and see the proof that love can grow even from pain. My name's Samantha. I'm 20 years old. I live in Chicago, and even though life didn't go the way I planned, I'm still here, and that's enough for now. Some love. End of story.